Now look, there is no doubt about it that Meghan Markle is by far the most narcissistic personality out there when it comes down to her show with Love Meghan. We know that she's very self-absorbed, greedy, and much, of course, one that cannot take criticism. We know that she can't deal with that at all based on her overall reaction and her behavior toward the general public, toward the many critics out there about her Netflix series. And this is where it gets even worse. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, Meghan Markle, we know that she is in quite a lot of trouble with Netflix and the many executives over there, but she's got the board on her side. We know that she has the majority of the board of directors that are supporting her. Meanwhile, you have a lot of problems going on within Netflix HQ. She's actually creating a lot of that drama. This is exactly why you have CEO Greg Peters getting into a lot of battles with the board of directors over there and trying to really stabilize the whole situation with, of course, with Love Meghan Season 2, which, by the way, is going to go under additional reshoots by this June. But what's interesting about this moving onwards has a lot more to do with what Meghan Markle recently did that I really do believe goes down as the most offensive thing yet when it comes to Meghan Markle's time over at Netflix. Because when you look at it this way, we know that Meghan Markle doesn't care about those out there when it comes to, of course, how she portrays herself on live television. She doesn't really seem to care about how ridiculous she comes across as in this series, and that really just goes to show you how full of herself she really is. But what's interesting about this moving onwards is the fact that given that the ratings disaster surrounding this series wasn't enough for Meghan Markle, well, this just got more interesting. Now, with the Meghan Markle drama only getting worse for the many Netflix executives attempting to do damage control and tame the situation for the series with Love Meghan, one serious development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle and her recent proposal with Netflix and just how it's creating internal division over at Netflix. Already Markle, who does hold some creative power over her series with Love Meghan, is doubling down on the plans to insert her footage attending the LA fires for With Love Meghan Season 2 specifically. Her plan right now is to essentially turn this into the intro for the first episode of Season 2, let's make that clear. And not so shockingly, the board members that do support Meghan Markle are supporting this all together, and are accepting Markle's plans to insert footage of the LA fires of her time there. Not only that, but Meghan is also planning to have full-on conversations about her time at the LA fires, while cooking with certain celebrities for additional filming that is planned to take place by this June. Now get this is already said to be creating an uproar from Netflix CEO Greg Peters and even some board members that are against Meghan Markle, which in turn is creating a division within the Netflix board of directors that is best described as serious and creating internal conflicts at the studio. To make matters worse is that Meghan Markle plans to have a full-on conversation about the LA fires and the homes that she visited with Gavin Newsom when she has him on for Season 2, Episode 6, an episode, by the way, that is planned to go under some reshoots by this summer, specifically June, as mentioned before, that will include new appearances and cameos, including Gavin Newsom. Now, many Netflix producers are said to be very concerned and worried about the majority of the board siding with, of course, Meghan Markle on these plans for With Love Meghan Season 2. Believing that this will not only result in large numbers of customers leaving the streaming platform, but also tainting the image of Netflix and losing the trust of loyal subscribers of their platform. Now, Meghan is also reportedly offended that Greg Peters, the CEO of Netflix, is battling against these plans to have the LA fire subject and footage serving as the intro for Season 2, as well as the actual focus for Episode 6. This led to a heated squabble between both Meghan and Greg, where they shared their creative differences in a very serious way that led to Netflix calling for an emergency meeting/call on how to best insert the footage of these conversations as well that will be written in a correct way for the story and for the format of the show. Now guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing about Meghan Markle. This just goes to show you how crazy she truly is and how greedy she really is and how she just wants to be seen. That's really what it all boils down to. She loves people looking at her on television, looking at her on anything to do with a streaming platform. That's what she's all about, right? It's all nothing more than attention seeking. That's exactly why she attended the LA Fires sites just a couple of months ago. And that's exactly why she's doing this in this scenario with Netflix, right? So again, the fact that number one, she is having Gavin Newsom on for episode 6, and number 2, she's going to be incorporating conversations about her time at the LA fires with Gavin Newsom, and number 3, and using the footage of her time at the sites as an intro for episode 1, combining that all together, it just goes to show you how out of touch with the reality the Netflix board of directors really are. And look, we know that this is going to result in a major shift with Netflix. I think that you're going to see a lot of customers specifically leaving their platform and going to others like HBO Max or Peacock, for example, or Amazon Prime Video, whatever it may be. You're going to have a lot of that change coming once this thing drops this fall. And by the way, they are aiming like September to October to drop this series. They are actually eyeing September specifically because obviously her contract is going to expire right around that time frame. So they want to get this thing out by September, they want to call it quits, and they want to move on to other projects after that. But what's interesting here, specifically, is the fact that most likely, alright, all of this is to be used for footage or to be inserted for season 2 again. Alright, the additional filming that she's actually participating in. It turns out this is the main reason why Meghan called for Gavin to become a part of the With Love Meghan project, to make a cameo that was accepted by Netflix to discuss the LA fires and his politics at large. Now again, we know that Meghan Markle is going to use any chance that she can get to actually remain in the spotlight, to remain in the limelight as much as she can. And that's exactly what she's doing with this series. So what's interesting about this is that we already know that Netflix CEO Greg Peters, he is trying to actually obtain his reputation. He's trying to keep his overall image intact as a valuable CEO. And so far, to the casual Netflix watchers out there that may not be fully aware about this drama and what they see, is going on with Netflix right now, with the rates going up, with removing content that is heavily beloved and cherished. We already know that they ditched the Karate Kid Part 1 through 3. That is no longer a part of Netflix. That is now on Hulu. That's one thing that lost a lot of people, because people are looking at it and like, oh, you got Cobra Kai, but no Karate Kid movies. So they feel a little, ripped off there, but that's just the start of everything. Alright, Meghan Markle's show, I think, is going to contribute to more issues, and they have other plans, very, very big plans, to remove other content on Netflix, while also bumping up rates again during the later portion of 2025. That's also going to drive away more customers heading to other platforms like I mentioned before, HBO Max, Peacock, Amazon Prime Video. The list goes on and on, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens here as a result. What's going to happen with Netflix? What's going to happen with, the whole Meghan Markle situation as a whole? Will this be enough to finally just have every single studio not wanting anything to do with Meghan Markle at all, because we already know that many of them are dropping her like flies. They want nothing to do with her anymore, or at all, quite frankly. But I would like to hear what everyone has to say about the whole Meghan Markle situation over at Netflix and everything to do with Season 2, which is really just a Part 2 of Season 1. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.